Welcome again to another lesson. This time we are going to look at domain name selection and hosting. This video is on the difference between domain name and hosting. A web host is a server on which websites are kept. Together with hosting, your site comes to life. One cannot be had without the other. Both are needed for a website to function. A domain name and web hosting can be purchased from two different companies. If you purchase them from different places, you will point the DNS settings to the other host during transfer. Instructions for doing this will usually be provided by the hosting company. Types of web hosting. There is shared hosting, VPS hosting, and dedicated hosting. Shared hosting can be had when just starting out. It's for small businesses and bloggers. With this type, the websites are stored with others on the same server. VPS hosting is for when the site has grown a bit bigger. With this type, although there is one physical server, your individual hosting is partitioned, so you do not have to share hosting with anyone. Dedicated hosting is for big companies. In this case, the business has full control over the server. Choosing a web hosting service. Selecting a web hosting service can be a challenging experience. Look for a hosting service that is reliable and constant, having stood the test of time. Check out for the following: speed, by which visitors can access your website, or how long it takes for information on your site to appear to visitors. Disk space. Check up how much disk space is offered by the company and select the type you need. Reliable support. This is needed for when you have problems. Chat service should be available. Price or cost. The price involved in purchasing from a particular site as opposed to another. Factors to consider when choosing a web host. A fast server. A great uptime throughout the year. Sizable enough to host more sites when needed. SSD. Has greater speed than a normal disk. Bandwidth data transfer. Email account provision. Reasonable annual renewal price. Ease of transfer from one host to another. Sometimes transferring from one host to another can be confusing and time consuming. But there's usually the site support you can always fall on, and most can be relied on. Let's look at a wrap-up of this lesson. We looked at the difference between domain name and hosting. What is a web host? Types of web hosting. Choosing a web hosting service, and factors to consider when choosing a web host. I hope you've enjoyed the lesson and will start taking action soon.